Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Gamer and we are returning to Rule the Waves 2, where we, as the US, are trying to dominate the world. We are very much in tension across the board over here against other nations, so let's see what's going to come out of that. We are currently running a big budget deficit because we are building up quite a couple of new ships. The Saratoga class aircraft carriers, so our first purpose-built aircraft carriers, which will be carrying 82 aircraft each, and the Californian class battleships California and Connecticut, with these enormous amounts of forward-facing quadruple gun turrets over here. So that's going to be an extremely interesting design, also with these 16-inch guns. So yeah, that is costing us quite a lot, so we'll need to make some amends to that. And I think something that we do have to think about is the situation up over here. So firstly, there are a couple of ships that are considered obsolete. So the Chicago class, the old US light cruiser Chicago, and the Chattanooga class, I'm guessing. So we really have to think about what we're going to do with these things over here, because, well, they are pretty old and they're really not up to the standard. So the Cleveland class is our most modern light cruiser. You can see it has 10 6-inch guns in a very interesting layout over here, with a lot of torpedo tubes, with a lot of mines, and all of that. And these guys, they're really far apart from that. They have a lot of singular guns all over the place, so their broadside really is quite worse. So it's only 5 guns or so, 5 6-inch guns broadside versus 10 6-inch guns broadside. So there's a world of difference there. Also less mines, less torpedo tubes, less everything basically. Also, these guys all have cramped accommodation, and these guys are even short range. So you know what? These guys here we're definitely gonna scrap. They are just not up to the standard anymore, so that's fine. That will save us some money, and that does leave us with a question about what to do with the Chicago class. Now, they're bad, but I wouldn't want to ditch them entirely. I think they might still be okay. They do have some torpedo tubes, they do have some guns, and they do have cramped accommodation, but they just might be good enough to do surface or home water patrols. So what we're going to do over here is we're going to just open this design for rebuild. It would cost $500,000 to do that. We're going to give them increased gun elevation. There's no extra cost associated with that. We could give you better directors, even though that would increase costs by a very significant amount. So you know what, I don't think that's really worth it. So could exchange some of these swivel mounts or something like that, but I don't think there's really much point doing that. So let's simply give you a couple of AA guns, and I think we'll call it a day with this. It's a very basic rebuild. Also note that these guys probably had a design flaw, so they didn't even achieve their... Yes, that's all fine. Yeah, and we are rebuilding 5 ships, so that is all good. Everything else working out now. We do have, well, a budget deficit, but that's going to be alright. So, naval intelligence suggests that we ship some arms to the rebels in the British of Sierra Leone. Yes, that is a good idea. That will increase tensions by quite a bit. But you know what? I think that's going to be fine. Italy has commissioned a new battleship. That's a little bit of a problem. Well, I do think I want to keep medium spy efforts on the Soviets, so let's actually increase the British to a high, and I think that's going to be okay. So we might end up in war against all of these 3 nations, but yeah, that's okay, I think. Right, we do have enough money in the bank for about 10 turns, so let's see what there's going to be. There's been internal upheaval in Norway. If we play our cards right, we could add them to our sphere of influence. However, this may well increase tensions. Yes, we're going to do that. Orders restored. Peace is now under our administration. So that's a big event over here, because that means we now have a base, I'm guessing in Stavanger and Trondheim. So in Northern Europe we do now have a base, and that will allow us to place units over here and have them ready. So let's go to the area overview and let's have a look at Northern Europe. Where is it? Northern Europe, here we go. It does have very low base capacities, so we do have Norway, Stavanger, all of these. Ooh, a lot of air capacity actually over here. 60 aircraft. but the base capacity in Norway is very low. So we're going to spend some money to improve that, simply so we can base more units over there. Yeah, 3 air bases, that's a lot, I would say, actually. But you know what, that's going to be okay. We are also going to build another fort or base over here with 8-inch coastal guns, and we're going to build that in Norway. And just one of those is fine, I believe. Just so we can keep these guys a little bit off our coast. We also have to set these guys up. What would happen if we auto add? Flying boats, fighter bombers. I don't think we need that many. We don't need fighters here, I think, in this area. 8 torpedo bombers I think is fine, but let's change the number of flying boats to 12 so that we have good intel. I think at this point we are still thinking that aircraft don't really, they have a good role in reconnaissance basically, but they don't quite have scouts, but they don't quite have the punch to deliver a very strong hit on the enemy, I would say. Sorry about that. And 8 torpedo bombers probably, right? Yeah, there we go. And that's lovely. We are running a much bigger budget deficit now, so really have to think about things, but tensions are so high that I really don't want to decrease any of our units here, so I think that will have to be okay for the second. Couple of ships finishing their reconstruction, that is nice to see. Training exercise has torpedoed and sunk one of our ships. There are unfortunately no clues. I have no doubt in my mind that that was, do we want to say Germany, Soviet Union, or maybe Japan? Japan might also be a very tempting target, I have to say. But so would Germany. Let's say Germany. I think we can very well go to... Ooh! And we now have advanced directors. And we are at war against Germany. And immediately we are... Ooh, what? There's a battle in Haiti and we have a light cruiser and nothing else. Sorry, light carrier. I didn't know why we have a light carrier over here. Enemy gained some victory points. Okay, so let's have a look on the map and see what's going on over here. So the Germans obviously should mainly be in Northern Europe. I don't see that many troops other than that. They do have a destroyer over here. They do have some troops in the Mediterranean. Nowhere else though. Let's also keep an eye on the almanac. So in the almanac we can see that Germany basically has no ships at all except for very large light carrier that they are building. They have a single battleship. So I think this must count. This is weird because this just doesn't add up. A lot of heavy cruisers, a light cruiser, a couple of other things. What do they have over here in the Caribbean? So Germany has their battleship, a light cruiser, 6 destroyers and some other things, okay. We do definitely need to send some ships on anti-submarine warfare duty and all of that. So let's get all of our corvettes over here to trade protection. That's going to be okay. And that, yeah, that just goes 30 out of 15 required ships. And all of this is okay as well, good. I think we're going to go with price rules over here, not fleet support and not unrestricted warfare in that regard, and then we might have to think about what we're going to do over here in our home waters and in our other areas. So we do have some forces in the Central Pacific. In the Central Pacific? Really? Well, that's interesting. Look at all these Japanese ships on the west coast here though. And I also think we need to be mindful of this because Japan might join the war. And at that point we'll probably have trouble down here in Southeast Asia, so yeah, we'll need some ships to be transferred over there, and I do think we need some ships on the in the Caribbean. So firstly, can we move you or can we not move you because of the short range thing? So let's move you towards the Caribbean and see whether that... Nope, okay, so you're gonna stay on the North American East Coast. Okay, that's fine then. Let's send the Arizona class. and the New Jersey class. We're going to send all of these ships towards Northern Europe, towards Norway basically. These 3 ships we're going to send towards the Caribbean, protect our possessions there, and then we do have these heavy cruisers which are going to stay where they are, and then we have a lot of light cruisers which we do need to send along with our ships, I think. So let's take these 6 light cruisers, and they are going to also move to Northern Europe. Northern Europe, there we go. And then a couple of destroyers. I think we can take these Hull class ships. Let's take 6 of those. You're also going to be moved towards Northern Europe. And the other 4, we are going to move you towards the Caribbean to protect our assets there. So that's fine. Some light cruisers on the in the Caribbean would also be good. These all have cramped accommodation, so I really don't want to send you over there. Really don't know whether you want to be on in the Central Pacific. Oh, you're on the foreign station. I don't think you actually need to be, do you? Let's send you towards the west coast. There we go. Okay, fine. So, light cruisers for the Caribbean. Who else is on the east coast? These guys they have cramped accommodation. But these guys, the Cincinnati, Raleigh, Minneapolis, you are all good. So let's send all of you guys towards the Caribbean, and that's going to be fine. Right, heavy cruisers on the west coast. I think all of that is okay then. Quite a couple of light cruisers on the east coast. All with cramped accommodation though, so don't want to really send you anywhere else then. Couple of light cruisers in the Central Pacific and Southeast Asia. Yeah, we really need a stronger presence in Southeast Asia. I don't have any capital ships. Let's think about our carriers. So you guys are all on the American East Coast, except for this. Really? Why is the San Diego in the Caribbean? That's weird. The Pueblo. Let's send the San Diego there as well, so that at least we have a decent setup over there. And these 2 ships we're going to send you towards. Let's take the Montana, and the Montana is going to move to Northern Europe as well. Fine, good. So that took some time to set up, but I think that's going to be okay. Yeah, everything seems to be fine. So yeah, let's take the next turn. Rebels in Sierra Leone have defeated the British forces and is now independent. That's nice to see. Pardon there. Improved airship performance, that's entirely irrelevant. Increases aircraft capacity of carriers. Is that just a flat out? Or is it just a reduction in tonnage? I don't know. Right, submarine warfare. Enemy merchant ships sunk 2. Estimated enemy operational stops 2. Not a big news. Coastal rate. With a medium-sized battle, we are of course going to accept that. If the enemy is, great, here we are. Okay, so what have we got in the area? A light cruiser, a couple of destroyers, squadrons. Really not that much to write home about. But it's one of our latest light cruisers, the ones with the 10 gun design, so I really appreciate that. It's a very nice chance to get these in combat and try things out. What's going on over here? Okay, so I think this is our target. Okay, let's move over here. Let's advance the time here just turn by turn. I don't think... Oh well, we can just go ahead like this. We are traveling at 60 knots. Seem to be building up a little battle line over here with a couple of destroyers around us. That's alright. We have a submarine over here. And our job is to sink at least 2 ships. So let's try to get to Wilhelmshaven between Helgoland, just in the German bait over here. Blight, and yeah, let's see whether we can do anything. Game speed is normal. I think we can increase it a little bit. And we are seeing an unidentified ship, so we're going to go back to normal over here and take just a couple of turns. I think we can go to max speed over here, 31 knots. That's fine. We do actually have vision range and main gun range. Okay, main gun range is the inner one, interestingly enough. And I don't think this is a merchant ship. I think this is like, ooh, this actually might be a heavy cruiser. Okay, if it is a heavy cruiser, then I think we should run. And they do have a second ship over there. It seems to be a little bit smaller. Nope. 3 ships, 2 of them actually identified heavy cruisers with 8-inch guns. 6 8-inch. They are fairly modern. 30 knots as well. So yeah, I think this was probably built by Germany in between the wars, because they were restricted from heavy shipbuilding. 10, yeah, but they are strong ships. Yeah, we need to get out of here basically. Okay, so let's turn around and see, and just try to get out really. Are they closing in on us? So they do have 2 destroyers and 2 of these heavy ships. We are making 31 knots. I think they should only be capable of making 30 knots. One of the destroyers has broken up, but some of our destroyers seem to be falling behind. That's no good at all. Okay, let's get them away from AI controlled into line ahead formation. Let's get you to make as much speed as possible and get away from here. This destroyer over here is a nuisance, but not much more this moment. But these 8-inch guns I'm very concerned about. The Flosser it's so far behind. How fast can you go though? 34 knots, so as pretty much same speed as our destroyers. Flosser is launching torpedoes. Interesting. So we've been launching torpedoes here. Is that true? Yeah, it seems like that. Over here. I don't think they'll be hitting anything. Not at this distance. And they're traveling in a weird direction. Okay, let's try to get away a little bit more from these heavy cruisers. Ooh, there was another, I think, destroyer down there. Yeah, probably that's the destroyer that broke off earlier. Okay. Well, we are running over here, that's definitely true. Where's our aircraft base over here? Way too far away. Okay, let's actually go ahead and get this to run properly. Another ship down there. I think we can try to cross in front of the heavy cruisers here. Get a bit south of them. Actually, let's get rid of the vision range, just so we are sure we can see the firing range a little bit more easily. Yeah, we should be a little bit faster than they are, so maybe that's gonna work out. It's such a pity that they intercepted us. But I mean, but we should have expected that. We are not firing, so if there's fire... Ooh. We are being fired upon here. 3 medium guns. So what are you firing? Yeah, just your forward turret. Interestingly enough, this guy seems to be firing in another direction. What are you firing on? That's really weird. Okay, and you've been hit by 2 medium hits. Pass through and superstructure hit on the secondary guns. Secondary guns, yeah, a couple of those are destroyed. It's not the end of the world, really. Yet. I really don't want to get a machinery hit, though. Otherwise they might be trying to... or they might be catching up to us fairly rapidly then, actually. Well, we might want to cross their T. So if we were to cross the T, we'd be able to bring 10 guns onto them. Whereas they'd be only... well, they'd be still firing 4 guns on us, so... and their guns would be a little bit stronger, whereas ours... ooh, superstructure hit. Whereas ours would be, well, lighter, and we have less armor, so... yeah, I don't think that would work out that well for us. Ooh, there's an AV down here. Can we intercept that? Let's try to do so. What's our torpedo range? Nearly the same. So our task is only to sink 2 ships, so at some point we might be lucky and sink one of these. Oh, there's 4 heavy guns. We should be faster. Are we faster? I feel like they're closing in. Okay, so it's not a navy, it's a transport ship, but all so much better because I'd really like to sink that. Can you actually sink those, please? Come on, just open. Why are you not opening fire? Division target. Let's open manually open fire on these guys. There we go. Okay, now you're properly opening fire. That's good. Might be a little bit too late though. And these guys are definitively closing in. How can you be closing in? You should only be making 30 knots, whereas we are making 31 knots. We haven't even scored any hits here. Oh, there we go. First hit. Yeah, our destroyers have been switching to AI control, so they'll probably be returning now. Fairly soon. What time is it actually? Yeah, night is not really near, so we can't rely on torpedoes or anything. That's unfortunate. Okay, but we do need to get out of here. We're actually opening fire on them now. That's interesting. So that's an unknown ship? Where? Do we see an unknown ship? I don't think we see any. Conning tower hit, that's very bad. That means there might be some... The captain and so on might be dead. Basically. But they don't seem to be firing with their main guns. Are we though? Yeah, at least our rear guns are firing. Not scoring any hits though. Yeah, but they are hitting us. It's not great. Okay, our destroyers though should be back under our control. Yes, they are. And your role is going to be this. That's fine. Let's get you to run across over here. Fire started. Ooh, well. Light cruiser doesn't really... Not an easy time on you. Flotation damage, structure damage. Max speed has dropped down. That's very bad. Ooh, but for the first time we are hitting them, so that's nice to see. Didn't take out any turret or anything. Ooh, look at that. Only the rear turret is firing, so that makes me believe that maybe they've exhausted their ammo. We'll have to see. Fires extinguished, that's good to see. Okay, let's get you on a slightly different course over here. To maybe do a torpedo run. Don't think that's really viable, but we might as well try to. Another hit on the Hertha class. So far so good. Still the rear turret is in action. The front turrets aren't. Interesting development. Carrollton engine room hit. That might well spell our doom. No drop in the speed yet, but maybe they hadn't penetrated. Now they're penetrating. Okay, let's reverse a course over here. And another time, just so we're intercepting these guys a little bit better. There's the transport ship. Flusser is launching torpedoes, that's nice to see. Yeah, and they are turning away because of the torpedoes. That's nice to see. And they're probably firing on us rather than the Carrollton. I mean on the destroyers rather than on the light cruiser. Yeah, they are. And Flusser has been hit. Well, I'm gladly exchanging a destroyer for a light cruiser. They are turning away now, properly. That's good. Okay, so how's Flusser doing? Flotation damage is pretty high. Can we go to Squadron Max so you're not taking quite as much damage? How's Carrollton doing? I mean, your guns are fine. You might as well turn you around and try to do some damage on these destroyers if the heavy cruisers here are disengaging. And you know what? You can, just for the second here, go to this. So just sort yourself into behind this light cruiser. So that's the heavy cruiser again. Okay, let's run away. I thought they'd be going away. That's a little bit unfortunate. And another unidentified ship. I really would have hoped that we have more units here in the area. And the unidentified ship, the destroyer, is coming closer. But they're not quite taking over. Okay, now they are turning away. And we're down to night vision range. So we might still turn this around. Let's try to go over here. See whether we are suffering any further damage. We are not so far. Okay, so I do want to see whether we can find trade any other ship. So we're going to tell you guys to be screening again. That's fine. It's a slightly different formation. But be around the light cruiser. Yeah, so you can see them scuttling a little bit forward into position. It's nighttime now. So we might as well look on the vision range instead of our gun range, because that's going to be so much more relevant now. And just hope to find a ship. No air bases. Ooh, look at that. Some unidentified ships. Now these might well be these the heavy cruisers that we've seen earlier. So let's see what we can do about that. Line ahead. Okay, let's get these guys to be Squadron Max. You are going to be Squadron Max. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, so that's a heavy cruiser. Let's just try to drive right through them without destroyers. Okay, so we are suffering some hits over here, but I do want to try to get off torpedoes. You're all good. TD near miss. Unsighted, firing some ships. So there must be more ships in the area. CA hit. That's nice, but not critical. Yeah, and we really need to get off torpedoes. Ouch! There we go. Turret hit, flash fire, immediate explosion. But we are sending off some torpedoes there. Have you got any torpedoes left? Yes, you do. So that's really unfortunate. But these torpedoes might at least be doing some damage. Doesn't look too bad. But apparently not good enough. More torpedoes there. Didn't suffer a hit, so that must have passed under the ship or so. More torpedoes being launched. Come on! Ah. So many of these torpedoes clearly were going towards enemy ships. Do you have any torpedoes left? Yes, at least 16 or so. Everyone is back in formation. Battleship? No, I don't believe so. That must be the heavy cruiser. So many torpedoes, all of them unlucky. Okay, we are gonna go run away over here. There's no point in this. We clearly lost over here. We lost the light cruiser, and we lost the battle. So that wasn't going as good as expected. Clearly, some of our torpedoes really should have hit. I would really have hoped that was the case, but yeah, it didn't. So let's simply sail back to port. Sea state is pretty bad, and the Flosser does suffer some damage over there. So let's go a little bit slower, just to make sure that our ships aren't suffering too badly. And very soon this battle should be over. Let's go to Ultra. And there's actually the morning. But I doubt that we are going to see anything. Too bad, too bad. Well, we do have battleships in the area, so I think soon we'll be seeing this going better, and that should be alright. Don't think we can do this manually, can we? End game? No. Okay, fine. Come on, just get out of range, please. There we go. Yeah, let's end the scenario. We lost a light cruiser. They didn't lose anything. They only suffered a little bit of light damage. Clear major victory for them. Very unfortunate for us, really. Oh well. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Right, so the Germans actually leading. No, I don't want to name this battle. I don't want to be reminded of this battle, really, at any time soon. Right, so one of our light cruisers lost. Potentially some of our destroyers damaged in Northern Europe. Yeah, you and you are damaged, but that's fine. We do have some capabilities over there. And someone in Northern Europe, Montana, I think you are damaged a little bit, so let's actually send you back towards the east coast. That's going to be okay. But all in all, we should have a lot more troops over here than they do. USA, 4 battleships, 6 light cruisers, carrier, couple of destroyers, over base cap, yes, we know. But Germany only has 15 strength over here. And a heavy cruiser in the Mediterranean. So we might as well move over some people from the Mediterranean towards Northern Europe as well. What have we got over here? We've got battle cruisers. I thought we could move them. Well, they are in the Caribbean. Interesting. We clearly don't need that many ships down here. I think we can move the battleships towards either home. Yeah, let's move them towards our home area. Just to make sure that we aren't surprised over there. So you're going towards the North American East Coast. And everything else should be fine. Good. Still constructing a lot of ships. Still running a big deficit. But hoping that that is going to be turning out okay. These ships are under construction and they're going to take a while. But yeah, can't be helped. Okay. Still, I think this is a very good place to put in a cut. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. Do leave a like and all of that. And I'll see you guys next time around. Bye bye.